I thought I gave myself enough time before I started recording. I wasn't ready for that. That came out of left field. Just like in the episode with me just bawling my eyes out. The moment that Asa finally acknowledges the death of her parents, and it hurts so much, dude. I could not stop the waterworks from happening. It was just left field gut punch. I honestly thought the episode was just going to end on the sort of a little bit of touching on Makio again, acknowledging her loss. It's interesting to have Asa sort of reading that book and acknowledging at some point, what is she talking about? She knows what I'm feeling. Like Asa's reading that book and saying she knows how I feel. Why didn't she tell me this? And I'm like, girl, because Makio's doing the same thing you are. That's my conclusion there. It's legit. Makio cannot accept this. It's just like, again, we've been dealing with Asa this entire time, is that she doesn't know how to accept these feelings. She's hiding away by sleeping, and now finally she's accepted it. And Makio's over here going, no, I don't feel anything for my sister. I'm not going through anything. Yet she's writing the book that's saying I'm feeling something. She's writing this. She's lying to herself over here. But again, I was like, okay, we're going to finish on that, which is like, oh, cool. I have enough to talk about in my video. I'm just excited to really kind of dig into that whole thing there. And then boom, right, bam, right in the face. I'm like, oh gosh, this sucks. She's finally accepting it and just absolutely bawls her eyes out. I'm like, girl, it hurts. It hurts so much. Anyways, episode 8 of Journal with Witch, as usual, destroying my face, just destroying me so freaking much. And I love every single minute of it. But let's just dive into the episode proper, going through Scene by Scene, opening up the episode with, yes, Asa feeling a little guilty. I love what was on the television, talking about the wolf has acknowledged that there's something in their territory and they're chasing it off or something like that. And Makio's over there just like, hey, have you been in my room? Never mind. It's crazy because, yeah, Asa's over there just, even though just like literally a scene before then, they even recap it in this episode, she was angry. Whatever, I'll get at you guys. Always lying to me. I'm going to take what I want to take. And here she's like going, oh crap, she's going to catch me. It's like suddenly the guilt hits her. She can't really accept it. But yeah, it's sad that Makio's like, whatever, it's just probably my fault. I probably made a mess and didn't realize it. But yes, that's when we cut to Makio having crunch time. I think this is really kind of something that was needed. Honestly, it was something that needed. Like, as much as it sucks that Makio is not available to Asa in this time of need, I think this was needed. Because yes, technically before, when Makio was, preoccupied and Asa had to eat alone, Asa lashed out and said, I don't want to be alone. And so Makio's like, okay, cool. I won't do that again. And that was sort of giving Asa what she wanted. Now with Makio being busy, now it's crunch time. I have to be cooped up in my room. I can't eat dinner with you. I think that's what causes Asa to finally lose the last thing that she's sort of been temporarily getting. And now she has to finally reflect on the fact that she is alone. I'm kind of assuming that the manga probably expand on this a little bit, but that's the feeling that I got. That Asa right here no longer has Makio at her side. No longer giving her that nurturing nature, no longer, constantly, answering her questions and being just somebody that's there. And so now Asa is finally officially 100% alone, despite the fact that she has Emily at school that she could easily confine in or hang out with. This is her space at home, and she no longer has the witch on the throne or whatever it was. I forget exactly what it was. This strange land, this witch that's there. But yeah, we cut to the next day and I like at breakfast, Makio goes to the table and eats breakfast with her on the laptop. I almost thought that Asa made some sort of comment or Makio picked up on something. She's like, yeah, I guess I'll be at the dinner table with her. I'll just be working at the same time. Asa goes grunt butt out the door, doesn't even say anything. And this is a sucky thing because Makio is trying to navigate Asa's feelings. And so even though over here, we're seeing the perspective of Asa literally going through a lot right now. Again, she feels like Makio is lying to her, hiding this book from her. She's really angry at her mother. Her mother left her and left her with nothing. She's blaming her mother for literally everything that's going through her. She's lashing out. And Makio's not seeing all that. Makio's not seeing what we're seeing. So she's like, why did she just leave without saying anything? What's wrong with her? Yes, that's when we get Makio getting a phone call from Emily and the teacher. I like this teacher. The way that the teacher really kind of handled the situation was so good. And I think it's literally everybody in this entire episode. Tono, Shingo, everybody responding to the situation was perfect. And I like how the teacher's going, don't worry, we're going to handle this. It doesn't immediately turn into, what are you doing? How could you let the kid do this? Why weren't you there? Why weren't you paying attention to her? It's literally, calm down. Like, Makio's breaking down. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know where she's going. She came home. She looked like she was fine. And then she went back to school. And then she came home. Like, everything's going like normal. I didn't see anything. Don't worry. Ma'am, calm down. We're going to get through this. It was sweet. I really do like this teacher. And even beyond then, her asking Emily about, you know, what was her parents like? What kind of parents were they? And yeah, right here, Emily is pretty much confirming what we've seen so far. The fact that the father is like, he was nothing. Like, he was just there. He was just like present. He never talked. He never really did anything. And it's like I mentioned in some of the skip stuff that I actually have read, it looked like the father was just like, yeah, as long as it doesn't make mom mad. Yeah, just don't make your mom mad. That's like all he was just acknowledging whatever she wanted. Do that. Like, I'm here. I'm present. I will be here. I will support her. I'm going to help raise her, but I'm not. I'm just in the room. Like, it literally feels like the father would. And again, that reflects on Asa because she never really talks about the father. She always talks about the mom. Mom did this. Mom would do this. What do you think of mom? And again, a lot of that's around Makio's being her sister and thus that commonality there. But still, it's like the father wasn't present. But yeah, she acknowledged that the father wasn't really there. Just kind of just sit there, doesn't even respond to anything, just doesn't talk at all. But the mother, on the other hand, yes, that's the one that was like super organized. She's always there, super organized, all that kind of stuff. But also acknowledging right here, and this is sort of kind of I think maybe a hint for later on, acknowledging the idea that I don't really think I know what people truly like. Emily right here going, yeah, I don't know that I really know them. And I think that's not really necessarily talking about the parents, but I think that's a realization through Asa that she probably doesn't know the parents too. I'm saying this, but I probably don't know them because I'm now realizing this person, Asa, that I thought I knew through and through. Again, they've been together since, what was it, preschool? Like, for a long time, they've been with each other. And yet she's now realizing that she doesn't really know Asa. Asa's acting in ways that I've never really seen before. And thus, it's kind of, catching me off guard here. But yeah, that's when we assemble the search party. I love Makio coming out of her apartment, talking to Shingo, and she's like, thank you so much, I'm sorry about all this. And Shingo's like, don't worry about it. It was much easier to ask for help than you thought, right? No, it was actually very difficult. Like, you don't have no idea how much I was like stressing upstairs. Did I call Shingo? Do I call Shingo? Okay, I gotta call Shingo. And she also called Tono. That was a surprise to me. Yeah. Makes sense that she calls Shingo, and that's honestly a really great thing for Shingo to do, because I would assume around this time right now, Shingo probably should be at work, but it's great that Shingo came there. But I was surprised that Makio contacted Tono. That is a scary thing. At least from my perspective, I immediately think of like, this is something you don't tell somebody like Tono. Again, this is a lawyer that's, handling cases with, adopted children and whatnot. He could easily report this. Wait, hold on, Makio. You're saying you don't know where Asa is? Why would you not know where the kid is? Why is the kid... Wait, she missed school for 2 days now? What are you doing? Like, I could totally see some group, like, just pull that kid away from her. He's responding great, though. Again, I think that's a lot to do with probably that comfort that was established early on with Makio and Tono. That Tono's like, hey, Asa, I'm here for you. Hey, Makio, I'm here for you. Like, he wants to help both of them. He's not just there to say, and again, it was sort of like in that conversation early on too, was the idea of like, I assumed you're a bad person, but I think you realize very quickly that Makio is trying. She's trying to figure this out. She's trying to navigate it. So, I don't know, he may have met the other family members and realized, okay, I think Makio is probably the best choice right here. There is a good chance that he may have looked at all the options. I don't know how much control he would have had of that, but because I don't know really full like custody, restrictions, whatnot in Japan, but he could have looked at the other family members to see if there was a better option besides just Makio. But no, to Tono's whole thing here, I do like this, is that Makio is like, look, I'm sorry to make a big deal out of this, and Tono's response is, no, that's good. It's best to make a big deal out of it. She's facing the reality of her loss, and to have all these supporters at her side is important. To have these parents sort of show that this is a big deal. If it was just Makio running around looking and not really trying to get people's help and really kind of going out of her way in order to make a search party, it wouldn't look like she was taking it seriously. This girl that's going through something, and to see all these individuals now come before her is important. Which, yes, does play into later on when they do finally find her. They just all can't... They're all just hanging out with bubble tea. They're just all drinking it. Yeah, this stuff is pretty good. Yeah, right? It's a little chewy, isn't it? Yeah, it's chewy. And she's just sitting there like, these parents doing? These old folks are just hanging out with me. What are they doing here? Leave me alone. It was great. But yeah, while they were looking for Asa, though, I'd like that little insight into Tono and Shingo and the idea that we're, talking about, skipping school and whatnot, and how it's like, wait, you guys never skip school? And Tono's like, no, I always go in early and do my old studying and all that kind of stuff. I never skip school. Such a prim and proper boy. And again, I expect that from Tono. Definitely getting the impression from Tono's character, this is a guy that is a little bit socially broken. He just kind of was in the books. He didn't experience things like other people did to get the idea of, reading and whatnot wasn't really there for him, or at least fictional stories. It obviously implies that he is very studied. He's just, again, not into fiction. But yeah, Shingo was an interesting one. And the fact that, yes, he did skip school once, and he got caught. The teacher didn't really reprimand him much, which, it's kind of a mixed thing in Japan especially, but his father, I feel this so freaking much. His father, though, all he did was click his tongue. Looked at him, clicked his tongue, and that was it. That was enough to make him never do it again. And it's that element of the fact that I have let down somebody that I respect. Somebody that is sort of, again, the rock of the house. This is the guy. This is the authority of the house. This is my father. He comes in there. The father just looks at him, doesn't say a word, clicks his tongue. I just, can see it. Can totally see it. That element of I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. You failed your father. And he just, it hit him. Never do it again. Never do it again. I can feel that. I can totally feel that. And I love Tono's response. A very interesting response. I like to raise objection to your father. He should have talked to you instead. A single interaction can hurt a child's self-esteem. I like this because, again, there's this element that we're in our own heads, and I think there's sort of in the characters' heads as well, this idea of this, this fight for Makio. The fact that Shingo, again, had to go out of his way to kind of push a relationship with Makio because he was afraid that Tono was going to come in and swoop her up and steal her away from him. And Tono over here is just such a cool dude. He's literally standing next to a guy that we presume is taking the girl that he would want, which I don't think is really the case, but he's wanting to help out Shingo too. It's like a bro right here. He's like, yeah, I want to help you out. Let me talk to your dad. What a terrible dad. He should have done that. But it was interesting that Shingo picks up on this. The fact that he said it can hurt a child's self-esteem. And I think there's an element here where Shingo's going, you know what, I can see that. What he's saying there clicks with me because, yes, that sort of did hurt me in a way. I do kind of see the after effects of what happened there with my father. It did sort of hurt my self-esteem. There is a side of me that was sort of affected by how my father responded to things. But yeah, he's like, sorry for getting involved with your family and bashing your family. No, I want to hear you bash my father more. I want to hear more. Please, continue. It was a little cute interaction there, but anyways, yeah. They finally find Asa, go to take her home, and again, Asa's downplaying them all being there, saying, oh no, Shingo, you're only there for Makio. You want to impress Makio so that she likes you. No, I was concerned for you. That kind of hurts me. But again, this is the beginnings of what Asa's doing here in response to this, because she's running away, she got caught, and now that everybody's sort of trying to support her here, what she's doing is continuously lashing out. There's that continuous stage, like with her mother. How is she responding to her mother right now? She's lashing out. She's insulting her mother. You're a liar. You lie. You always lie. You never really loved me. She's lashing out at her mother. And now here, when everybody's coming in to support her, she's lashing out at everybody. Shingo, you're not here for me. You're here for Makio. And then, yes, why is Tono here? Oh, you're all here to support Makio. And now Makio's trying to say, hey, what happened? Well, you're a liar too, Makio. You lied to me about the book. Your room is a mess. How could you live like that? She's just lashing out. She's trying to push everything away. And it's kind of concerning, the idea that, yes, when somebody is at their worst, they feel lonely, they want something, and they're feeling like they have nothing. She literally is out there saying, I have nothing. Everybody else has something. All my friends around me in school all have things. And that's why seemingly she's not wanting to go to school, is because she's seeing how everybody has something. She's pretty. She has a great family. She has this. He has this. She's gotten taller. Everybody has something. I have nothing. And it's all mom's fault. And now that when something is coming to her again and saying, hey, we're here for you, it's like a side of not wanting to accept it, or thinking that it's another lie. No, you can't be at my side. I don't want to accept this because it could be a lie. But it's also the idea of trying to just push it away. No, go away. I don't want these things. Again, it's like pushing away the one thing you have right now. Again, but I think there is an element there where she's afraid of accepting it because it might be a lie. Is Shingo lying to me? I want to accept this, what Shingo's saying, but is Shingo lying to me too? It could be just like Mom. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Yeah, like, I really like Makio's response to this, though. As she's lashing out. You lied to me. You lied to me about the book. No, I just was trying to figure out when to give it to you. It's not like that. Well, yeah, I went to your room and it was a mess. How could you live like that? That's beside the point. Like, that's not important right now. We're not talking about that right now. You can hurt me all you want, but it's not going to fix the current situation. Again, Makio is acknowledging that she's lashing out. And again, I think that's a lot. This is what we're getting to in a minute. We're going to talk about this in a minute. Makio is very familiar with this stuff. That's the interesting thing about all this. As much as Makio says all this and says that we're not the same, she's very familiar with this stuff. But it still goes to what she's always said before, and I 100% agree with it. Makio keeps saying that we all experience things differently. We all have different emotions. We're all going through different things. It's never the same for everybody. How they're all responding to the death of Minori Kodai is different for all of them. Her death was different for everybody. It's different for Emily. It's different for Asa. It's different for Makio. It's different for everybody. Even people that are not involved with it, like Shingo. This loss is affecting everybody differently. But yeah, that's when they talk it out, and it seems to come to the conclusion of the idea that the only thing that's really kind of bothering Asa right now is that she's trying to know what her mother was thinking. That's why she went to the book. She wants to know what her mother's thinking. It's not in there. Okay, then now she's wanting to know it from Makio. Makio, tell me what my mother was thinking. I can't tell you what she's thinking. Again, the response of, I can't tell you that. Only she can. Only your mom can say, and she's no longer here. You're not going to have that answer. And that was the sad reality that we'd gotten into before, Makio acknowledging, this is something that I can't give her. She wants it. This is what she wants so badly, but I can't give it to her because her mother's gone. But Makio has observation. I think there's a cool thing here that despite the fact that you can't really tell what somebody was thinking, you can at least observe things. And what Makio is observing here is that based on how Asa is acting, based on what kind of kid she is, she feels, her guess is that she was raised with love. I think you grew up loved. In which case, I think my sister lived a good life. I think there's two elements here of acknowledging both the fact that your mother was a good mother. It seemed like she was a good mother. But also the fact that you don't have to worry so much about your mother because it seems like she fulfilled whatever she wished. And again, that goes back to what that journal said. What did the journal say? I want you to live a life full of love. I want to give you everything. The mother was saying, I want to love you with everything. And it does seem like based on what, again, Makio is observing here with Asa, she pulled that off. She succeeded in that desire that was in that journal. And thus, again, Asa can acknowledge that her mother loved her. I don't think that Asa right here is fully accepting that, but I think it is sort of a thing that chips away at whatever is blocking in her heart. But that's where we get to the nitty-gritty of this episode. This later part absolutely kicked my butt, partly because, again, Asa finally acknowledging the fact that her parents are dead. Finally accepting that part. But right here, Asa questioning Makio about feeling that same sensation. Have you ever lost anyone important to you? And Makio's response very quickly is no. Now, we did talk about previously the idea that Makio did lose her father, and it doesn't seem like that's something that's really hit her. It's like, I was never sad. Yeah, it's a sad thing, but I never really broke down. I never grieved over my father. She didn't seem like it had much of a connection with her father, and it kind of implied that again with her mother. Her mother kind of hinted at the whole situation there. Makio hasn't experienced loss like this, losing someone that's important to them. But she says, I've experienced something very sad that I don't intend to share. That's the question mark there. I don't know if this is going to be something that is not quite revealed yet. There's going to be something else that happened, or if that's going to be, again, to the point here in a second, it's her sister. She doesn't want to acknowledge or at least state what is going on with her sister. I think it will be, because it's not really necessarily going to be probably grieving or loss of a life, but it's going to be more so the idea of Makio losing a sister and the idea that her sister treating her so horribly and thus the two of them breaking what bond they had. Because again, it showed them they were good sisters. They were always playing together, having so much fun, and then at some point the sister kind of said, that's child stuff, move away from that stuff, and again started to really judge her and again push her away, despite the fact that Makio may have potentially really liked her sister, and this was something that hurt her. So again, this could be the very sad part. It could be something else that we haven't seen yet. It could be the father, but I don't think that's the case because, again, she said it's sad, but she said she didn't grieve over it. So it's not something that's going to be very sad. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be the sister. But again, she's not going to share it. She's not going to share it. She continues to keep that thing. My emotions are important. No one has the right to trample on them. No one will ever feel the same exact sadness I do. So I don't care to share it with anyone. Again, that goes back to the idea that she keeps that in her little oasis, her little bit of loneliness there, and she doesn't want anybody to really touch it. Which gets into, yes, what makes me really truly believe this has to do with the sister is that after this whole situation is over, Asa's alone, she sees the books. And I'm assuming these are the sequels because there's multiple books there, the different names. So I'm assuming at this point, Makio has made the sequel. Because in the first one, it seems to imply the fact that it ended with the sort of them going home or something like that, and the sister was gone. Again, this fictitious world, this fantasy world that is not real, but again is based off probably Makio's journal. She wrote a book based on her journal that was about her and her sister. And I think that first book probably left with the idea of being separated from the sister. And I think the sequels, which is what Asa's now reading, was wrote after the sister's passing. And now Makio is talking about this dragon that is now dead, is gone, and she doesn't know what to do. She can't accept it. I'm like, oh, here we go. We are so getting into this now. And again, this is where it kind of tells me this is something that is deep within Makio that she's hiding away and that she doesn't want to express to anybody, doesn't want anybody to see. Which I think now that Asa has acknowledged this, it may help her drag it out of Makio. She realized the dragon was gone. He's gone. What do I do from here? Move on? No. Avenge. Kill. Kill who? I wish I could talk. To whom? I want to stay asleep. That's the big part. The later part there is the big thing. She's saying, I wish I could talk to somebody, but who? She can't find somebody to speak to. She wants to talk about it. That's the key thing. She wants to talk about it. But then also, I want to stay asleep. Again, what did she say when Asa was sleeping all the time? She's trying to hide away in her sleep. She doesn't want to address it yet. Let her sleep there. Let her hibernate. Let her hibernate until she's ready. Again, this is all Makio. Makio is doing the same thing in her own book. She's grieving about her sister in her own way. It's not going to be about, I love my sister so much, I'm so sad she's gone. It's probably going to come to a fact of there's a different circumstances here. It's different for her because, yeah, she didn't have a good experience with her sister, but it was still her sister. I think there's going to be both an element of here of, yes, she loved her sister a lot, and then they, had this conflict between them. There's going to be a lot of, leftover upset about the fact that her sister treated her so horribly, and she could never, again, get back at her or at least tell her how much it affected her. She couldn't, bring her grievance to her sister and say, hey, this is what you did to me. She wasn't able to communicate all of her frustration with her sister in the end, and all this stuff is left undone. And again, there could be a lot here that had to do with she was being contacted by her sister, and again, my prediction is that Shingo was trying to get her to mend her relationship with her sister because, hey, she's calling, she wants to talk to you, why don't you go talk to your sister? And that's what caused that little breakdown between Makio and Shingo, was him trying to get her to talk to her sister. I think that's going to be a huge, massive regret for Makio. Huge for her. But yeah, her reading all this, Asa reading all this, she's getting the same thing I'm getting. Makio's talking about the same thing. Makio, in her book, she's writing about the same experience. She's not connecting it, I think, like we are. The idea of this book is Makio writing her own life in a fictitious story. But I think Asa right here is acknowledging, despite the fact that she says she hasn't experienced what I did, she's very familiar with it because the way that she's writing here sounds like something I would think. It sounds what I'm going through. How could she be so familiar with it? Again, because she's having the same experience as you, Asa. She's going through the same thing you are. She just doesn't want to acknowledge it, just like you weren't wanting to acknowledge it. It's so good. This later part right here is so good. Even before Asa just breaks down. But I think it's great because, again, because she's hearing this, and again, because she was trying to get this from Makio just a minute ago. When she was talking to Makio, she was trying to get an answer. Like she says, she was looking for an absolute. I wanted Makio to tell me, this is the answer to your problems. Just do this. All the pain goes away once you do that. But Makio's not going to lie to her and say, I know what you're feeling, so go ahead and do this, and everything fixes. She's saying, I can't tell what you're going through. You're going through your own thing. You have to deal with it in your own way. I'll be here for you kind of thing. Right here, Asa's like, you had the answer. Why wouldn't you give it to me? Because she doesn't know it's the answer. And again, I think there is an element there where it's different. It's different for everybody. But yeah, hearing these words was exactly what she wanted to hear, and Asa breaks down. And Makio comes in and says, "What's the matter? Mom and Dad, they're gone." Oh my gosh, that hit me so hard. I'm like, finally, my girl finally accepted it. Now she can start healing. She's no longer yelling and talking about, present tense about her mother. She can now finally accept the death and move on from it, build from there. That gap is there and you didn't know it was there. Now you can finally kind of say, okay, now let's refill it with something. Let's move on with our life. Let's accept things and move forward. It's very important for her, and I'm super, super hurt, but at the same time, I'm super excited about her future going forward. But now, like I said, with Asa out of the way, it's Makio's turn. Makio's got to accept it now. And I think Asa's going to be a big part of it. I think she's going to be able to help Makio. And I'm wondering if it'll be through the books. I'm wondering if over time, Asa's going to keep reading Makio's books and eventually realize, you're talking about Mom. You're wanting, what's wrong? Like, you're obviously talking about my mother. What's missing here? What is that gap you're missing? Let me help you bridge it. But we'll see. I was actually wondering if we'd actually get to this break point for Asa before this core ended, and I kind of wonder if they intentionally have been skipping a lot of content to get to this stuff, to really get to a nice hit point for both Asa and Makio. I'm thinking potentially the finale could be Makio's realization, and they may be trying to get to that point just to have a really good story, which is not really too much of a concern. Like I said, I'll probably go back and read the manga. They're doing a great job so far. I've been loving it, and they've been doing a really good job of trying to condense things, but it does suck. It always sucks whenever stuff is skipped, but again, the manga is always still there. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, become a member. Until next time, you'll take care.